These last few months of 2025, you have been going through a lot of transformation. I'm sure that you have been feeling this. But now you are the transformation. This month is about feeling the fullness of who you have become. Stay tuned as this video is packed with fresh insights. We're going to talk about the main themes and energies of the month, how these energies may show up in your life, and what they're asking of you. Finally, we're going to look at the energies in the world at large. We're also going to just very briefly talk about a few astrological events and how these energies may be brought up by these events. The reason why I love doing these videos so much is because going into the month with the awareness, the consciousness of the energies that come our way really helps us navigate the energies, but also really enjoy this human experience a lot more. My name is Anna, and I'm a formally trained psychic, energy healer, and intuitive coach. I empower others to live a life more aligned with their higher self. All right, let's get into the fun stuff. So let's talk about the main themes and energies of April. So when I tuned in, I saw this really beautiful blue rose. There was so much blue in it. And then on the outside of the rose, there was this soft pink light coming out on the outer petals. And when I tuned in and went into this blue energy, it felt very new and refreshing, like new beginnings. But at the same time, it didn't feel necessarily as, it felt like the beginning, but also the end of a cycle somehow. So later you will see that the butterfly symbols comes up. And the butterfly is actually a really good way to explain what this means, because it's like you have been in a cocoon for January, February, March. You kind of started to get out of the cocoon, and now you're really kind of this beautiful butterfly. So it's somehow like the beginning, but also the end of a cycle. So the way that this really feels is like if you just had gone out and bought a bunch of new clothes, you completely changed your wardrobe, and there may be like a new different style, and you put on the clothes and they may feel a little bit different than what you're used to, but somehow also more bright than ever, which is really cool. And what these energies are really asking of you is to really appreciate your work and to embody and feel really proud and really grateful for where you are now, because a lot of the times we always focus on what's next and what else we have to do, and we never really sit to really feel all the work that you have been through, to really feel who we have become. So these energies really ask of us this: be proud of where you are. Really, you have been through a lot, and you should be really proud of yourself. Okay, now let's discuss this soft pink light on the outside of the rose. So pink usually represents self-love. However, when I went into the color, it started to become more vivid, more intense. And what this means in this instance is that this is a mature self-love. So this means that for you, self-love is no longer just a cute buzzword. You are actually now really applying self-love in the most true way possible. So you're no longer making yourself small to make others happy. You're no longer keeping the peace with others, but creating chaos inside of you. No, you are really loving yourself right now. And that is really, really cool. I love this energy. I think that it's the full moon in Libra on the 12th, 13th of April that brings in this energy. So really be careful, because it may trigger you. Some people may, if you're not truly embodying this, some people may come your way just to test how you're applying your self-love. But this is a really cool energy. I love it. All right, so we've looked at the main themes and energies of the month, but now I want us to look at how these energies are going to look like on the different energy levels of our being. So I'm going to look at our energy centers, the crown, the third eye, and so on, and look to see what comes up there. So this may be more specific for you. So for the crown, I saw this bright yellow color, and what this means is that you're going to be receiving quite a lot of downloads and insights, which is pretty cool. This may be related to the Lyrid meteor shower that is going to happen, I think, between the 17th, 26th of April. So watch out for that. So for the third eye and solar plexus, I want to talk about them together today because they looked pretty much the same. So they had this magenta color, but they looked really like concentrated, focused, like small in one. It wasn't like a bright thing. And what this really means is that they have been through a reboot, through a rewiring, and now they're kind of just finding their equilibrium once again. But what's really interesting is this link between them right now that's happening. And I feel like this message is very specific for a particular group of people, especially people that kind of do what I do. Um, so the message really is that magenta usually represents worthiness, and the message is that the more you feel innately worthy, the more you can connect and access information and read energies. So this may sound strange because the solar plexus and the third eye are actually quite opposing in terms of what they represent, because the solar plexus is all about personal power and identity and really the ego, and the third eye is really about extrasensory perception. It's quite otherworldly. So the message here is that power without vision becomes very ego driven and forceful, but vision without power becomes passive and ungrounded. So it's really kind of important to understand this link between them. The throat energy center. So the energies this month are really going to ask for a cleanse between the heart and the throat. I feel like this message is very specific to one of you or a few of you, because it felt like someone's energy just kind of came in stronger and this message was like very specific for them. It feels like the energies are going to really ask for a cleanse, right? Because it's like you are trying to express your inner truth. You're trying to express how you're feeling. There's something here about that, but it's like you can't. Like I even felt like a tingle in my throat. Like there's like this division between your inner world and your outer world, and there's this desire to create a connection and a smoother flow. If this is something that you would like guidance on, you can also check out my services at my website, which is going to be below. I offer psychic readings, spiritual intuitive coaching, and also energy healing. So you can the other thing I wanted to say about this is that you can practice in front of a mirror or with a pet or with someone that you trust to express, your inner truth, like what is kind of what needs to be expressed, what is in your heart, to really practice creating this connection between the heart and the throat energy center, and really speaking out really helps with that. The heart. This is really where the energies and the main theme of the month kind of show up the most, which makes sense because it's about experiencing the fullness, the wholeness of who you have become. So when I looked into the heart, I actually saw a butterfly, and it was a blue and pink butterfly, so just like the energies. And again, really what this butterfly means is that you have become, and it's really about feeling the fullness, the wholeness, and really again about appreciating and showing gratitude for your journey and being proud of where you are, just taking some time to really embody this. Another thing, another word that came up for this butterfly was creative expression. So from this feeling of wholeness, really to express that into the world, really let yourself be who you've become, express the beauty of that into the world. The sacral energy center, the second energy center. We talked about the solar plexus, so we're gonna go to this now. What I saw here was fire, actually, and what this really shows is that you may be experiencing your emotions a lot more. They may be heightened. Um, you your body may be really kind of pulling you in, and your body is asking for your awareness, for your attention. You may be feeling your emotions more intensely, or you may be feeling them kind of like stuck in places. At least that's what I'm experiencing. I feel like they're really calling for me. So if emotions were colors before, they were kind of dull, but now they're really a lot more vivid. This is part of a larger energy activation that is happening and will continue to happen. What I wanted to say for this is really to not be frightened by these emotions, but also try to not identify with them. Just if they're asking for your attention, give them attention. But again, don't identify with them. Don't become them. Feel them, but don't become them. The root. This one is quite important, actually. So, oh, look who's here. Look who's here, our guest. Say hi. So for the root, last month was all about understanding our true nature, who we really are. And now we are integrating the truth of every energy center. So I don't know if you've heard that, but she burped. I'm sorry. Excuse us. Our guest is not very polite. So, okay, again, the root. Let's talk about the root energy center. Our guest is very distracting. So what I saw in the root is that the root is really seeking to ground itself. It's really seeking to understand what being grounded and rooted really means in the most true way possible. So maybe you are feeling the call to settle down, to maybe purchase land, or simply your root, you're looking to really ground yourself, and you're asking yourself the question, like, what does it truly mean to be grounded? So really looking at all of it together. A lot of it is about truly embodying and feeling the fullness of who we have become. So the world at large, actually, this looked very similar to what I saw in the sacral. So it was quite intense energy. This means that long suppressed issues such as power, control, shame are going to surface. Again, emotions might be heightened, but also, more importantly, is that clarity is going to come out. When things are more heightened, intense, it doesn't always create chaos. It might, if we're not aware and conscious, but it also has this power to create a lot of clarity. So I really feel like things have been kind of unclear about what's going on in the world. There's so much going on in the world. I really hope and think that there's going to be a lot more clarity. This doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be good or bad. I don't know. But things are just going to become more clear to us about what is really going on in the world. As always, I would love to offer you personalized insights. So check out my website below. You can find my services there and also my contact information. And thank you so much for being here with me today. I'm extremely grateful for you, and I hope to see you next time.